chicken wings are a part of my life. They don't have chicken. They don't have hot wings here. It was probably day 40 before we even found hot sauce, child. They don't eat hot food here. And that is mind blowing to me. I had no idea how I was going to move abroad when I made the concrete decision that nothing and no one was going to stop me from getting out of America. I didn't exactly know what all of the requirements would be to get a visa, to stay in a country long term or short term, or slow travel in a place. But I did know I was going to have to reduce, limit, and erase a lot of limiting beliefs. Here are the top 5 myths about moving abroad. The first one, of course, is that moving abroad is extremely expensive and you have to be rich to travel full time, travel part time, or to move abroad. This is false. You do need a financial plan, but you don't need a fortune to move abroad. Many countries, especially Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe, offer a much lower cost of living. People make it work by saving aggressively, finding a job abroad, or just creating a budget friendly lifestyle if that's for you. I know a lot of people have the ick about thinking that you need to live on a budget or live within your means. I know Americans hate the idea of that, but you'll be very, very surprised on how much more you can afford outside of the US. Moving abroad or traveling abroad full time when you are an American is mostly about being resourceful, making smarter decisions, putting your money where it benefits you. And for me, since I've moved abroad, I only put my money in places where it's going to benefit me, where I'm going to get value out of it later. I personally chose to live in Brazil because of the weather. And Brazil is always a place that I've wanted to go since the beginning of time. I've always just had some strong attraction to Brazil. So during my search, I looked at Mexico, I looked at Ecuador, I looked at Costa Rica, I looked at Colombia briefly, and Latin um, all of these Latin countries were interesting to me. However, um, it still felt like home. It didn't necessarily feel like I was getting far, far away from everything, and I wasn't because Mexico is still a part of the Americas, and those other places that I listed are not far away. I chose Brazil because of the currency type, which is reais, and currently $1 equals 5, almost 6 reais on any given day. So not only is Brazil a beautiful place, but I can get more bang for my buck and I can use geo arbitrage, which is one of my non-negotiables when searching for a place to live. Number 2 is moving abroad is a permanent vacation and there's just luxury and paradise everywhere. Now, this is kind of a catch-22 statement because so far moving abroad has been very luxurious in different types of ways. And it, of course, is a paradise because that was one of the things I was not going to bend about. I used to live in the Midwest and I never wanted to see winter again, or at least for the foreseeable future. So I wanted to go somewhere that was paradise. But moving abroad is not at all a vacation. When you think about vacation, you think about saving up all year or for a long time just to like do the most, do it big, don't get any rest or sleep. Moving abroad is not like that. I'm doing slow travel, so that means we go to a place for the maximum amount of time for the visa. Yes, this is my definition of slow travel. We stay the extent of our visa, and if we want to renew the visa again and stay the extent of the renewal, that is what we'll do, and we will explore the location at will. We're living like a local. We're not here just for 7 days or 2 weeks and we have to see all that we can see. That's not at all the case. Slow travel allows you to spend more time in a location and just take things a lot slower. And I feel like that allows you to gain a lot more about the location because you're being a little bit more strategic about it. Like you're seeing more than just touristy things. Of course, there is going to be a honeymoon phase. I can't speak to what it's like to be outside of that honeymoon phase because I'm still in my honeymoon phase. We've been here for about 50 days now. It will be time to renew our visa on day 90, and we will be renewing our visa. So we will be staying in Brazil for at least 120 days. I don't know if we'll stay the full 180 days that's permitted to us, but we will be here for a long time. So the honeymoon phase, I imagine, is amazing, but then reality does set in. Reality has set in for me, even though I'm still enjoying myself. Everything's still great and wonderful, but reality has set in where it's like, oh, they don't have fried chicken wings here. Whew, there's no macaroni and cheese. There's nothing I can even get to make macaroni and cheese with because the noodles are different. Like everything about this place is different. And that can be kind of like a culture shock, whereas you would never ever experience that on a vacation. You're never really going to experience real life of a location while you are vacationing. You still have bills to pay, bad days, the challenges of navigating bureaucracy. Expat life can also be lonely at times. You are going to deal with culture shock and homesickness. For me, I've been dealing with this by being vocal about it. I haven't been hiding the fact that I'm having days where I want to crash out because there's no chicken wings. I told you guys, I'm from the Midwest. So, sports bars, like sports is not really my thing, but sports bars, sporty culture, beer, and chicken wings is actually a huge part of my life. I'm not a beer drinker, but chicken wings are a part of my life. They don't have hot wings here. It was probably day 40 before we even found hot sauce, child. They don't eat hot food here. And that is mind blowing to me. I don't enjoy that. And so I speak about that. I talk about that openly. And because I talk about it openly, I have found that that's an opportunity for me to find alternatives. Look for hot sauce, look for peppers, like look, ask around. Like it's a way for me to solve the problem by acknowledging that it exists. The peace you're going to find from moving abroad is a result of a lot of research, diligence. I refrain from using the word hard work because that's just not a concept I subscribe to, but it did take a lot of research. It did take a lot of effort, and I'm okay with that. Was the effort hard and grueling and tiresome? Absolutely not. But I did put forth a lot of effort to find out a location that would suit me, that I would like, that I would enjoy, and also the same for my daughter. The fifth myth is that you have to be a digital nomad with a remote job. I have been an entrepreneur for 15 years. 6 months during my planning, I did get a full time job where I worked from home. And prior to that, I had not worked in the corporate world for years. Okay, and I mean years. While a remote job is fantastic, it's not the only way. Millions of people get visas and work abroad in local jobs. Teaching English is extremely common, but also starting your own business is amazing. I have been kind of hesitant over the years of entrepreneurship to encourage people to be entrepreneurs because you have to have a certain type of grit in you. You have to have that dog in you, okay, to be an entrepreneur. But that doesn't cast people out. I think over the years, I've found more of a system to help teach people how to write their own checks, okay? And this comes from a mindset shift. This is not here or there. But while we are shameless plugging, if you have no access to the Moving Abroad Toolkit, you totally need it. It's something that I created, designed, spent a lot of hard time and effort putting information into an app that people can use to discover how much it would take for them to move abroad and how long this plan would, could, or should take. It's extremely valuable, and it, in fact, is the very first step to finding out how to move abroad. You need to know how much it would take you, or need to know a number where you would feel comfortable moving abroad. And the Moving Abroad Toolkit gives you that. The fourth myth is going to be that it's selfish to move abroad. The fourth myth is going to be that it's too hard and it's selfish to move abroad with kids. Listen, we have got to get out of our constant need, want, and desire to suffer. Everything doesn't have to be hard for you. Things can be easy for you. In order for things to be easy for you, you have to have answers. You have to also have the right types of questions. This is very important. If you don't have any answers, you're probably asking the wrong question. And believing that you can afford to move abroad is simply not true, and it's propaganda. While it can be challenging, moving abroad can provide incredible benefits to you and your children. They become bilingual or multilingual, develop a global perspective, and learn to be adaptive and resilient. This is something you can't just teach. Being resilient is a collection of experiences that allow you to have the tools to face adversity. There's nothing better than that. You can't give your child a lot more than that. If they have a tools to adapt, to learn, to figure things out, they're unstoppable. Moving abroad offers them a chance to have a different kind of childhood, one with more cultural exposure and a focus on quality of life over material things. Now, you can, of course, still have material things when you've moved abroad. I know one thing I like to splurge on, and I wouldn't even call it splurge, it's a part of my lifestyle now. But when I was back in America, I always did time capsules or clothing capsules. When I was in America, I always did clothing capsules for every season, meaning I would give away my old clothes and I would buy a whole new wardrobe. I do consider myself kind of a minimalist, so I would buy key pieces that made me feel really good. So I wasn't always collecting a lot of stuff. So moving abroad doesn't mean you can't have the things you love. It does, to me, mean that you put more importance on and emphasis on the things that you do have. And the things that you do have will innately become more valuable to you. And I believe that adds to a high quality life. The fifth myth is going to be that you'll be cut off from your friends. The fifth myth is going to be that you will be cut off from your friends and family back home. Oh, the contraire. I think that's how you say that. But I would say it's been the opposite for me personally. Having more time to focus on myself and my daughter has allowed me to remove more limiting beliefs, more blocks, mother wounds, father wounds, sisterhood wounds, all types of wounds that have allowed me to realize how loved I really am, and allows me to get closer to my loved ones, allows me to apologize and or make amends with people. It allows me to value my relationships even more. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't see my family weekly when I lived there. So I'm actually talking to them once or twice a week now, whereas I didn't have that before. So moving abroad for me has allowed me to get closer to my family. With modern technology and affordable flights, staying connected has never been easier, okay? Video calls, instant messaging, social media make it very simple to connect with loved ones every single day. You can also, of course, plan to visit family. Um, I feel glad that my family is willing to come visit me because I don't plan on coming back to America anytime soon, honey. But you also could just meet in the middle, okay? So that is also an option. I hope this is extremely helpful. If you don't have the Moving Abroad Toolkit, stop playing with your life. Especially if you're an American, you see the way that things are going. I'm not a fear monger. I don't like to always bring up what's happening in America, but I never ignored the signs. I never ignored the writing on the wall. You should not either, okay? See you on the other side.